this was as predictable as it is tragic. This didn't happen by accident.
This little girl's parents were not criminals.
No.
The portrayal of Latinos in particular and immigrants as criminals. U.S. citizen kids terrified today that their parents are going to be taken away, that they're going to go home, and the home is going to be empty.
Let's hop into a CNN panel as they discuss some of the more heartbreaking effects of these ICE raids, which have taken the backseat in the news cycle to the Doge chaos, but are just as devastating, especially to everyday people. So make sure to like this video, subscribe if you haven't, and we'll be back after with the context that is needed.
I remember sitting down with a young man named Emmanuel who told me exactly this story, who told me that when Trump became president in 2016, he was in high school and he got called a dirty wetback. And he told me this through tears. And he had not been able to tell his mother. She was hearing it for the first time as he was telling me. And this is happening all over America because of what has been unleashed, because of the portrayal of Latinos in particular and immigrants as criminals and as bad people. The TPS holders, the Venezuelans, as if they're all part of Tren de Aragua. They don't even know how to say Tren de Aragua, so now they call it TDA. There are kids being bullied. There are kids being targeted, and there are kids who are terrified that their parents, U.S. citizen kids, terrified today that their parents are going to be taken away, that they're going to go home, and the home is going to be empty. And so that is what has been unleashed on America.
There are reports of an 11-year-old Hispanic girl in Texas who was bullied by her peers due to her parents being Hispanic and them threatening to call ICE and all this over her immigration status and that they're criminals. And it's kids just here clearly repeating things that they've heard Donald Trump say on the TV as the president, you know, the model for our children, or that they've heard their parents repeat it because Trump said it, where this girl, because of this bullying, it led to her taking her own life at 11 years old. Obviously a very tragic thing, but when we normalize this type of stereotyping, this type of hateful rhetoric and racism to the point that the president is saying it on national TV, spreading lies about immigrants eating pets, constantly calling them criminals, saying they're coming over here from insane asylums, poisoning the blood of our country, this will be the effect of it. It's so obvious. There will always be victims in these stories, and they should not be ignored, especially as MAGA tries to use this for political gain and largely brush over these instances. She has a name. You should say it, Trump. Remember when saying Laken Riley was a big thing because she was a victim of Biden's immigration and border policies? Well, this girl is a victim of Trump's immigration and border policies. Say her name, Trump.
There are 4.4 million American children, U.S. citizen children, who are born with an undocumented parent. And what happens to them?
It's sad, to be honest, Abby. It's horrible to have an 11-year-old girl suicide herself over bullying. Bullying is real. And obviously, you know, they didn't catch it in time, or she didn't report it on time, or I don't know what it was. But the fact of the matter here is we have a system that's broken, and people are making fun of someone's parents and caused her to kill herself. That is horrible.
But
Nobody
I
wants that.
Something happening. I just want to show this because I think, and I'll let you jump in. The other part of this is that obviously deportations happen every day in this country under Democratic and Republican administrations. People who break the law, who are criminals, should be sent back or deported or jailed or whatever it is. But there's something happening also with this administration making light of the whole situation. This was a Valentine's Day post from the White House official account.
And not only is the White House posting cheeky little Valentine's Day cards about ripping families apart and placing children in cages, because obviously that is the result of mass deportations and sending them to Guantanamo Bay camps, which is Nazi-esque, but they're posting videos labeled ASMR so people can enjoy hearing sonic experiences of the suffering of those being deported, as Elon Musk retweets and laughs at it. Like, it's one thing to support deportation, as Abby Phillips says. I mean, it's something that happens under both political parties, but laughing and finding joy from the suffering and pain it's bringing migrants, or pretending it's some funny thing, is psychotically evil, like full stop. And over 40% of those who are being lined up for these deportations by ICE and shipped to these camps and all of this are not even criminals. They don't have a criminal record. So the idea that it's the bad ones getting what they deserve is a complete sham. They're deporting the guy who's contributed to our economy for 10 years, but his work visa expired a month ago and he's brown. Do not be fooled.
This little girl's parents were not criminals.
No.
Yeah.
That has
And
and there's a level
yeah.
of dehumanization and cruelty built into all of this that I think trickles down to average Americans, where they're not feeling empathy for 11-year-old girls when they're relentlessly bullying them. And it's almost become a thing where, like, threatening to call ICE on people is like a game to just further victimize these communities that are already living in paralyzing fear and anxiety. And we've seen cases like this happening just in the last few days of, a pizza shop manager being fired for threatening to call ICE on his own customers, a teacher who made posts about, encouraging people to report his undocumented students. And that's having an effect. When you talk about policy and numbers of arrests, of deportations, there's people behind that, there's families behind that, and there's a real psychological and emotional effect there that we also have to talk about.
Yeah.
What is so painful about this is that this was as predictable as it is tragic. This didn't happen by accident.
Exactly. That is so wonderfully put in such a concise manner at the end. It's as predictable as it is tragic. The way that Trump dehumanized this group of people every day almost on the campaign trail, used them as the nail to drive home his political point, the nail in the coffin of their safety in this country, where even something as horrendous as this, go ahead and open up X, open up Twitter, find a media post of this 11-year-old and what happened to her. All the comments under it are from MAGA are, oh, it's one less now, but oh, where her parents are illegal, oh, they still need to go. Like, just cruel and inhumane comments that further drive home the point that the right views brown people as less than human, especially foreigners, to where they are desensitized, dehumanized. They have a lack of empathy for foreign people, Hispanic people, brown people in this country, and that makes America a scary place and unsafe place for anyone who is not white, something we had effectively moved past as a country, but have been thrust back into all because of one election.